Hello and welcome to the Maple Grove City Report. I'm Dave Kaiser from Northwest Community Television. It's time once again for a look at what's new in Maple Grove and a look back at the most recent council meeting. Stay with us. Maple Grove City Report coming up next. Thank you again for joining us on the Maple Grove City Report, along with Al Madsen, City Administrator. Welcome again, Al.
Thank you, Dave.
A lot to talk about. We had a little over an hour meeting that we'll discuss in just a few moments. Also, for those stats lovers around town, I know Al's one of them, we got some city surveying information, but first a look at some new things in Maple Grove, and we'll start with a little housing information. You've got some stats there for us.
We have 142 single-family building permits so far this year. That compares to 122 last year, so we're up. Sky at Arbor Lakes, which is a multi-tenant apartment project, is going to be breaking ground August 22, and so that obviously is going to add more housing permits. The Silvercrest property, Monday night we approved their PUD concept and development stage plan. So they're looking to break ground sometime in September. So
fantastic.
Additional units coming on board. So
when's the last time units of that size have been built in Maple Grove? Has it been a little while?
It has been. I would say probably the last were the apartments out along Dunkirk, by the old Target area. That's probably the last apartment project of any significance.
Right.
And so Sky, that's probably in excess of 440 units. Two-phase. And then Silvercrest, that's about 350, but that's senior housing units.
Right.
But it's been a long time. Sure has.
So something you can see starting up again this fall and into next year.
Right. Very happy. Upshur Smith has begun expansion of their facility, and it's about 120,000 square feet. So it's a long-awaited expansion. And we have Haskell's, which this past council meeting we did set a public hearing for their liquor license. They're going to be acquiring a piece of land out by the new Target for a wine and liquor warehouse.
Okay.
We're down to 185 foreclosures, which still sounds like a lot, but considering when you're in the 450 range, it's coming down very, very nicely. So we're very happy with that. HGTV is going to be in Maple Grove again in August. They've been here 3 times already over the past few years, filming. This time it's a kitchen remodeling. It's a home down the 85th Avenue area. So, we're excited that this is the 3rd time for them to come out. And
excellent.
I wish it was my home, but they were remodeling.
Yeah, we would take a little remodeling.
Sure would, you bet. So, can't forget Farmers Market. That is really, really coming along because now the produce is, the corn is there, everything is there. We now accept debit credit cards at the Farmers Market, which is good. And also, there's a lot more things to buy there now. So, and if someone doesn't have the cash, a debit or credit card.
And the entertainment and some of the activities for families continue on. So it's just a good place to go on Thursday afternoons and spend a couple hours.
It sure is. It's more than just going and buying something from a farmer's market because there's all that other entertainment that does take place. So it's a very, very, very good thing for us. Photo contest. The winners of the photo contest are on display down in the first level of the government center. You may have been one of the judges.
I was one of the judges.
Okay,
it was very tough.
I know you have been in the past, but well, that's good. Good to hear that. Chick-fil-A is going to be having a celebration in the parking lot west of the community center. That's where the farmers market usually does all their parking. On August 14th from 5:30, I think from 5:30 to 7:30 or 8 o'clock, something like that. Open to the public. They'll have all kinds of entertainment for the kids. They'll be giving away chicken sandwiches, chicken. So it's, as I say, it's wide open to anybody and everybody that wants to come over.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
And this coincides somewhat with their building
Well,
the fountains area?
It does, but they're not opening that until October 3.
Okay,
So
this is the
celebration.
preview.
Right.
Enjoy the food ahead of time so they'll get you hooked when you come in October.
Absolutely right, yes.
Okay.
So we did have OSHA popped in, surprise inspection of all the city facilities, and we did very well, very, very well. And so we're happy because you just never know when they pop in. There's a few minor things, but nothing of any significance. Our public safety, our public works facility, flying colors, our water treatment plant, flying colors, government center, public safety, all of our fire stations, Woodland Mounds, all of the city-owned facilities were reviewed by OSHA, and we came out very, very strong. So,
excellent.
yes.
So good for staff to know that, and also good for the
ever.
residents who visit those facilities to know that as well.
It sure is. There's no doubt about that. So, trying to think if there's any other highlights. National Night Out. We had 140 neighborhoods, which is up from last year. We had 135 last year, and I think we placed third in the nation last year in our population category. So I wait to see how we place this year, but 140, and
that's
even
fantastic.
with the bad weather,
Yes.
everybody got to a lot of the neighborhoods, the elected officials and our police staff, and so it's always a good opportunity to get out there and chat with the citizens and just one-on-one or a group and just find out what's going on. So.
And the afternoon was perfect weather as well, so the
Yes.
officers and the police staff did some cooking over at the community center.
They did, yes, at the Lions Pavilion, and that went very, very well. So that always does. So.
Yeah, kind of a kickoff event to the full evening. So as we get more stats back and hear how that ranking goes, we'll certainly pass that along.
Right. Before I forget, one of the questions that came up at our last meeting is how many roundabouts does Maple Grove have?
We love to count odd things
right.
like that. Yes.
We have 9.
9 roundabouts, okay.
And at the special council meeting, we did have a presentation by our engineering staff regarding potential other roundabouts.
Right.
And so that was, council didn't take any action on it, but it was more of a presentation and just to update the council on some additional roundabouts. So.
Okay, and the success of roundabouts. It seems to be one of those things that once people drive through it a few times, they get to know how it works. And from a traffic flow standpoint, I always hear that it seems to benefit.
It does, there's no doubt about that. But, the first time you go through it,
Sure.
yes, it can be a little confusing. But once you've been through it, it just seems to be kind of a natural thing after that. So,
Okay.
so yeah, we've got 9 and probably add another 2 or 3 somewhere, down the road. Whole Foods, the parking has not been as horrendous as we thought. So far, it's manageable.
That's good.
And we hope that that'll continue to be the case. We did have, I did provide an update to the council regarding the Osseo Maple Grove Basketball Association. We're working with them for additional gyms at the Maple Grove Junior High. They'd like to have 3 additional gyms there. That would give them 5 at the junior high, which really then allows them to draw in a lot of tournaments. And obviously that's where a lot of revenue is for the association. So we're working closely with them.
And this would be a joint project then with the school district association and the city potentially?
Correct, right.
Okay.
Yep, all 3 of us would be involved. So.
And then that facility becomes open for use for residents of Maple Grove as well at open times or through park and rec programs?
Right, absolutely right. Absolutely right, yep. I did have a request the other day if the city would like to take over a cemetery, and discussed that with the council, and we decided no, because I know there are 2 or 3 or 4 others out there that would then want the city also to take over the maintenance, and that can be quite a job. We've got 36 square miles to maintain, and if we start throwing other projects in there, the mowing and the trimming and just the overall maintenance. So we decided probably right now would not be in our best interest.
Okay.
So, I think that was about it. The council meeting was nice and smooth. It's, as you mentioned, just an hour and 5 minutes long. We did set a public hearing again for Haskell's. We had a presentation from Northwest Hennepin Human Services Council. They come every year and they give us a presentation on their activities. and so that was very good. The big item was a presentation regarding the citizen survey, the community survey. Our Citizens Advisory Committee had been authorized by the City Council to conduct the survey, and it's complete. It'll be going on our website very, very shortly. There was a couple of typos that we had to take care of,
Okay.
but it'll be going on our website shortly. If anybody wants, a hard copy, we can certainly do that as well. The survey was very, very good. We're just super pleased with the results. And just to give our viewers just a little feedback here, 1,200 surveys were sent out, and we had 520 completed. That's 47%, which is a very strong return, so we're very happy with that.
And these were randomly sent out? This
Yes.
wasn't some list that was...
No,
picked
just
from.
randomly sent out 520, and I mean,
Okay.
over 1,000, and get 520 back was really,
That
really
is
good.
very good.
We're happy again that 96% of the respondents viewed Maple Grove as the quality of life as good to very good. So we continue to do things right.
Excellent.
Just a few other stats here. 99% consider Maple Grove as a good place to raise children. 84% said it's a good place to work. 97% said that they are very likely to recommend living in Maple Grove to other people. And so I think that's just a very, very high mark. Almost all of our results were above the national benchmark, which I think speaks very, very well.
Question on the working statistic, the 84% say it's a good place to work. What is the number? Do you have a feel for how many people that live in Maple Grove actually work in Maple Grove? Or I would guess it's a little bit of a mix, not completely a bedroom community where everyone lives there and works someplace else.
Well, we're not totally a
Maybe
bedroom
that's
community.
changed a little bit.
It's changing, ever so slowly, but I would say the percentage still goes toward people living in Maple Grove but working outside
Right.
Maple Grove. But little by little, we're starting to see a shift in that. What the
Exactly.
percentage would be, I don't know if it could be 50-50.
Right.
I don't know right now, but
Okay.
but we're seeing a little shift. Some of the important ratings, for example, neighborhood quality, safety, housing quality, those are very, very high on people's minds. Some of the least important was proximity to work and proximity to family and friends.
Okay, so that maybe
which-
answers a little of that work question right there.
which surprised me a little bit. Areas that improved was the availability of quality health care. Now, in the last 5 years, the hospital has been added, so
Sure.
clearly that has played a role. A variety of housing options, preservation of natural areas, ease of car travel. 5 years ago, our road system had not been upgraded as well as is today, and so ease of bus travel. Now, the interesting thing is the availability of affordable housing, the survey showed that that's improved, but yet there's another part of the survey that says people are opposed to affordable housing. So, in one section it says people want more affordable housing, and another section in there, people are opposed to affordable housing.
Right.
And so that one kind of stumped me because 5 years ago we had less affordable housing units than we do today. And so I'm surprised that just with the results of that one. But
One that might take a little bit more analysis to look into
It
what
will.
those two numbers actually mean.
it will, no doubt about that. Potential challenges, as
Okay.
one might expect, taxes, spending, government was certainly the number one challenge. Traffic and transportation, and then the development attracting new residents and businesses. And that's another interesting one
yeah.
because most people that I get out and visit with say we have too many restaurants. The survey showed that people want more restaurants. So I thought we had a pretty good mix of all the restaurant types
Right.
in our city, but people are still looking for more residents. One of the nice things is that people feel safe in Maple Grove, and I mean, that's just a big, big factor. 98% of the respondents stated that they feel safe in their neighborhood.
Fantastic number.
73% feel safe in our parks after dark, which is good. It's a little bit of a decrease from 2008. I'm not quite sure why. So it's still up there. We're still way above the national benchmark numbers. The fire prevention, service to seniors, bus or transit services, land use planning, zoning, that all increased from 2008 to 2013 this year. And again, we're way above the benchmark. Decline, services that decline, snow removal, sidewalk maintenance, code enforcement, animal control. In our mind, we've improved. In our mind, staff mind, we've improved in those areas, but yet citizens are not too sure that we have.
Takes a bad winter or so, and everyone doesn't
sure does.
remember the last 4 years, but remembers the last snowstorm. Apparently.
It sure does.
And would that be related at all to the foreclosures, related to the code enforcement? Is that something that there's possible correlation?
Well, there might be some element there. Sure could be, because you know, when a home is foreclosed on, it sits vacant, weeds grow up, it just is not, you know, well maintained. We go out and, you know, try to monitor that as best as we can.
Right.
But that could be part
The
of it.
number
It
that
might
you
be a
had,
little
obviously, in the last couple of years, as we mentioned earlier in the program, was in the 400 to 500
Right,
range.
right. Yeah, we're roughly 450, 500, and you know, now we're down to 185. So,
Right.
and it's coming down every month. So, as far as government performance, 73% feel that they like the overall direction that Maple Grove is taking. The job Maple Grove does listening to its citizens, dropped from 57% in '08 to 53% this time around. I'm not quite certain about that, because we I think, of course I'm prejudiced, but I think we go out of our way to communicate with the citizens. You know, we got our website, we got the city newsletter, we got our citizens guide, we got just all kinds of things that we do to get the word out. And so I was a little surprised with that drop. I'm not quite certain why that took place, but we're still above the national average. But
In
still.
any of those questions, were there spots for comment that people could add additional comments if they said, I think it's lower, this is the reason why?
Yeah, there was some
So-
additional comments made, yes. Some of them were valid, some of them were things that are beyond our control. You know, some people don't realize that we have a lot of county roads, and we have, you know, highway system through our city, which is either the county or it's MnDOT, beyond our control. Some people don't realize that there's other aspects of local unit of government that is beyond our control. We work with the county, we work with, you know, the state and the feds, but there's some things that we are limited as to what we can do. So, ratings of city planning, 9 out of 10 stated that it's good to very good, and so we're very happy about that. In '08, we also continued to have strong planning. Interesting one was partnership with local youth athletic associations to fund a new gymnasium.
Okay, we talked about that earlier.
Right, we weren't too sure how that was going to be, but surprisingly, the majority of the respondents said it's good for the city to partner up. And in this case here, you know, we're partnering not only with the basketball association, but the school district as well. So we have a nice opportunity there. Construction of additional housing for low to moderate income. That's the one where part of people are saying we need more affordable housing, and then other part is saying we're opposed to more of it. And and I asked that question to the consultant at the meeting, and she did say yes, it's contradictory, and they can't quite figure out why it is. And so I guess I probably won't live long enough to try and understand stuff
But
like
might be
that.
some other things to look at. And again, I think with that issue as well, it's a lot of times the understanding a person has of what affordable housing means.
Yes.
And some people it means one thing, and to some people it means another thing.
Absolutely right. That's a very, very good point. The big picture, quality of life, safety, transportation, opportunities, is a sidewalk for us to work on, affordable housing, sidewalk maintenance, new gymnasium. So overall, it's areas where we have improved from 2008. It's areas where we're equal to 2008. It's also areas where we've dipped a little bit. And so that's one of the nice things about a community survey is
Right.
you not only look at the plus side of it, but you take a look at, well, this
Exactly.
is a spot that we could improve. And so overall, it was good. So I appreciate the Citizens Advisory Committee taking on this project and getting it done.
So it was reviewed by the city council at the meeting,
Yes.
presented to the council, then it comes into your hands and the rest of the staff. I would take it as the next step that you look a little bit further into it and come out with some action plans potentially?
Right, we do. We work with the consultant, and then we take a look also as we really get into the detail of the survey itself. Sometimes maybe it's the way a question is worded.
Right.
It's very, very difficult to say, but there are some elements of the survey where, yes, we see that as, hey, there's something we need to improve on. So,
And the other point of the survey, and it sounds like the group gave you some of that information, is comparing yourself against other cities that are
Yes.
similar size, similar incomes. And
Correct.
again, it sounds like Maple Grove came out very well in comparisons to other cities.
yes, very high, very, very high. So we're happy with that. Council meeting was an hour and 5 minutes, as I mentioned. We just had a few items. We did have, excuse me, we did have one public hearing. We're lowering the interest rate on, I can't remember exactly how many, several thousand residential parcels and also commercial parcels on the assessments. We've
very nice
because
news.
of because of the financing environment, we've been able to refinance a number of bonds, and so at lower rates, and so we're passing those savings on to the residents, and so we did adjust our interest rate that we're charging for those folks that have outstanding assessments.
So these are assessments or projects that have already been completed.
Correct.
They'll be getting
And-
some benefit, and ones that are still coming.
Right, and yes,
Very
those that are
nice.
still coming. So we're very happy with that. We did set a special city council meeting for August 19th at 6:30. That'll be to review the 2014 budget. I'm very pleased with all of my department directors. They have really held the line on increases. And so I think we're going to be in very good shape again this year, as we have been for the last several years. So, but it's one of those things that you still have, the cost of oil and gas and, medical and all that stuff continues to go up. And some of that stuff is fixed. It's tough to, try to manipulate some of that stuff.
Right, exactly.
But and so we give it our best shot. We did have a HRA meeting where we just had to take care of a couple of minor issues, and that was it. So the meeting was smooth. I think the council was very pleased with the citizen survey. I'm hoping it'll be on our website yet this week. If not, it'll be next week for sure. And again, if someone doesn't have access to a computer or they don't want to print it out, we're certainly happy to provide one. So,
Excellent.
Yeah, it's numerous pages long, but it's good reading.
Yeah, some fun stuff to talk
is,
about.
yes.
We've got a couple extra minutes left, maybe with the time of the year, just talk about a couple other things that are going on. How about the waste site with the trees and brush and all of that? How has that been handling all of the trees that came from the storms we had not too long ago?
Good question. It's handling it very well. We had about, I think, roughly 500 homes in the June storm that we went out and, they put their down trees and everything that had been cut up along the curbside, and we went out and picked all that up. And I think we had about 500 homes that we dealt with and took all that out to the yard waste site. So that's doing very well.
And the site could handle all of that
Oh,
extra.
yes, yeah,
Okay,
the site
good.
clearly can. We incurred about $200,000 in costs, which we have kept a very good detail of, because FEMA, we've been meeting with FEMA.
Okay.
And so we will get reimbursed for our expenses that we
Okay,
incurred.
I have heard that discussion with some other
Yes.
cities in the metro area, so
Right.
that discussion is ongoing to
Yes,
see.
it
how the
is,
city-
and the president has included Hennepin County as one of the disaster areas eligible for federal funds, and so we've had good sessions with FEMA, and I think that we'll be reimbursed for, if not 100% of our costs, almost 100%.
Very,
So,
very good.
yes, you bet.
All right, and as we tape this program in early to mid-August, we're starting to see all these crazy ads about back to school, believe it or not. And so just a couple reminders. We usually talk at this time of the year a little bit to remind people about the number of schools that are in Maple Grove. Obviously, there's a lot of kids that will be out in a few weeks catching some buses, and you encourage people
be
to
careful, yes.
keep an eye out. And I know the police department pays a little extra attention to that come September.
Yes, they do, yes. It's just, you know, during the summertime, we kind of get sloppy in our driving habits, but, you know, come school time, we need to always be alert for, you know, kid that might be popping out of what we think nowhere. And so, yeah, we need to be very alert. And our police department does a very good job of patrolling. And so, yep, but we need to fine-tune our driving skills sometimes.
Right, so information on the city's website or certainly the school district website if you want to find out any more information about that. Well, very good, Al. We thank you again for your time. And
Thank
again,
you,
if you're
Dave.
interested in survey information, you can go to the city's website. Let's leave you again with that next council meeting date. As Al mentioned, it is on Monday, August 19th, 7:30 at the Government Center. And we've mentioned a number of things throughout the program that you can look to the website to find out more about. Farmers market, dates, times, and some of the good stuff that's out there, maplegrovemn.gov. And if you have questions or comments for the program, 533-1710 is our viewer response line. Give us a call. We'll try to answer your question on the program, just like that great question about roundabouts. We can help you out with that. For Al Madsen, I'm Dave Kaiser. Thanks for joining us on the Maple Grove City Report.